So welcome to another exciting episode with your host Tamym25 on the show Grow Your Food. And today we are back in the garden obviously, and it is September. And we've reached our final part really of the growing season for the summertime. It's harvest day. So today we're going to go around, look at all the produce that we've grown and basically harvest everything. There's going to be a few tricks and tips I'm going to show you on produce that you may have grown as well, and you may have some that haven't quite ripened, and I'll show you some tricks and tips on how to get those things ripened after you've harvested them off the plant. So first of all, we're going to start off with the tomato plant. Alright, so as you can see, the tomato plant is coming to an end on its life. I mean, obviously some of it is actually starting to rot away. Some of the tomato plants actually come to the end of its term in terms of it's going to produce any more tomatoes. I mean, there's obviously lots of flowering happening, but we planted this stuff late in the season and I knew that would be the case anyway. So what we're going to do, we're going to harvest some of the tomatoes that we've got on the plant already, because I don't know if you can see that it's going to start going off otherwise, because it's getting too cold for this plant outside, and I can't be bothered to, well, there's no point transplanting it, it's only going to flop down and die if I do that. So I'm just going to harvest the tomatoes that we have got this year. That'll be it for this year really. So yeah, let's crack on and harvest these few tomatoes that we've got. Right, yeah, so we're going to just harvest this one here, and you can see the branches on them are actually getting quite bad now. So you know, the tomatoes starting to have this little wear. It's because the branch here is actually starting to die off. So we're just going to snip that right off there. That's going to hit the ground, and then we're going to come around here. There should be another one just here. It's just there. That one's off, and any more for any more. I think that's it really, except for that one. That's it. So yeah, so that's basically the tomatoes off. Let's grab them. Come here, tomatoes. So yeah, that's not too bad. Oh god, that one's got a nice hole in it. Right, these don't look very good now. They've been marked quite a bit with the cold. These ones might be okay. So any ones that look like this, it's not that great to try and get these to redden, but there's a trick to making them turn red, which is you need a fruit that can fermentate them. So I'll show you how you guys do that in a little while. Second, we're going to go to the pear tree. So pear tree is finally ready. Yeah, there's a lot of pears. And to just check if a pear is ready, just grab hold of the pear, give it a twist. Even the ones that don't want to come off today, they're coming off today because it's running later in the season and they won't be any good to eat otherwise. And that's basically, if it comes off cleanly like that, it's a good pear to come off the tree. Markings like this aren't generally that much to worry about. It's when they rot inside. This is just from the cold this happens, but from when they rot inside, there are some pears on here which are not any good, which I'm not even going to attempt or bother to harvest to eat. So we're going to empty this tree now, and I'll show you guys when it looks naked. So yeah, all these pears are going to come off today. So as you can see, some of the branches have actually snapped, like here. This is totally snapped here, but it's just being held on by a little bit of branch. It's happened to a couple of places, so I've just literally just cut them straight off because they're going to die anyway, and I'm going to prune the tree this year anyway, so it makes no difference. But look at that. How's that for some? It's not bad, is it? But this is already dead. This branch technically is dead already, so it's not feeding the fruit anymore, and the fruit have stayed small. And I'm lucky I found this because you wouldn't see this amongst all the other ones, you know. So I'll chuck that down there as well. See, look, there's another one here. That's obviously the fruit's so heavy that the branches can't take it. It's just too much weight for them. But yeah, we'll just get rid of these ones. So you just literally you see what I just did there, just lift them up, you know. So there's the thing, just lift them up and they just come off like that. Get a nice break. has got some something's been eating that. You see that? So obviously we'll be careful with that. So what I normally do is snap it from the top part. There's nothing through like that, you see. So I just snap these two bits where this was eaten inside, just to check that there's nothing on this side, which is obviously still edible. This bit here, just launch it, and we'll just keep this bit here. I'll eat that today. Well, here's an example of a pear that's been well enjoyed. See that? It's been totally eaten to the core. That has. Look at that. Eaten all the way through to the core. So yeah, we can't save that one. We'll just throw it. Show you guys. So look at that. That is pretty rank. So I don't know how that looks underneath. Let's have a look with the old scissor chopper. Let's chop that bit there off. It's very juicy inside. But you see, it's gone all the way through. It's gone all the way through to the inside. See that colour change there? So that fruit is not nice. Juicy, very juicy. You can see how juicy that is. But probably won't be very nice to eat though, because it's like gone so far into the fruits. Let's see if we can find anything inside of it. Nothing inside it though, but I won't eat that. Definitely not. Definitely not. So I'm just going to crack on, finish the rest of this tree off, and we'll check in with you when we've finished. And there you have it. A pear tree with no pears on it. So that's it's so sad. It's naked. It's got no fruit anymore. But it is a better. It's better though for the fruit to. I mean, look at this amount. Alhamdulillah, mate. Look at the amount that we've got from the tree. I mean, that's just one portion. Obviously, there's. I'll show you how much we've got in a minute inside. But that little dwarf tree there is not a big tree at all. I mean, you guys can probably tell from the camera, it's not a big tree at all. But it's bloody amazing what it's produced. There's a couple of things I want to talk to you guys about as well. Is obviously there's going to be a time very soon where we're going to do a video on how to trim this stuff. And there's certain branches you want to get rid of, like branches like this you don't want on your tree, because these branches are no good. And even branches like this, you don't want these sort of branches on your tree. There's a time to do this, and which isn't now. It's too early because there's too many leaves on the tree still, and you can't really judge how much to cut back with leaves on a tree, because the tree looks actually bigger than what it is with leaves on it. When the leaves come off, then you can assess, oh, actually that branch should go, that branch should go, because then you can actually see which branches are of any are too long. Like those ones up there are definitely going, that's way too long. And I managed to cut a couple of them off anyway, as you can see there on the ground, because they were snapped. And any places where they've snapped, any places where they've snapped like this, is good to recut at another point here, just so it has a clean break and the wood will heal nicely. And it won't heal with like a scar like that. So that's the sort of thing you have to look at as well when you're looking at your tree, just to maintain its health, so that you give you that again next year. So now we're going to move on to the next part. Thirdly, we're going to go do the potatoes, last and final harvest for the year, which is the potato plant. And potato plant have a slight giveaway when they start to do things like this, because sometimes you'll get green foliage growing like forever. It's never going to bloom, it's never going to die like it's supposed to. I mean, this is about the kind of colour you want it to go anyway. Like, it's not quite, it's green, but it's like got some yellow in it, you know. That's what you're looking for. And also telltale sign is obviously when you see these bad boys start pushing through the ground, that pretty much gives you a good indication that they're ready to be harvested. So basically the potatoes should be in this area here, which is quite a big area, but I've got a feeling that some will be over here, here. You just basically got to dig the whole ground out, because otherwise you don't want any of these in there, because if there is, they're going to keep growing and they're going to ruin your soil, and you can actually get like an infection from just in your soil from leaving that stuff in your soil as well. So what you basically do, you grab the ends of these and you gently pull, and you should get it. Oh, okay, so we got one with it. There you go, there's one potato with it. So we'll just nip that off there and chuck that in the bath, in my container. These, obviously, you discard. Don't need them anymore. And you need something just to dig into the ground. Guess what I'm going to use? So you just got to be a bit attentive when you do this, because there'll be potatoes straight underneath this soil. So as you dig, you really have got to be really careful, because they'll just be, see, you've got to be really careful, especially when you use your fork, because otherwise what will end up happening, you can scar these. You don't want to scar your potatoes, trust me, you don't want to do that. So you just keep going, keep following that route. I mean, it's quite hard to know exactly where it was growing. One thing I'm going to do, which I've done before, is I literally just empty the soil out into the ground, because you've got to literally get all these roots out, because they will just grow more potatoes otherwise. So that's what I'm going to do, pour this out, and hopefully we'll find loads of potatoes in there. So here's the convenience of growing in a tub rather than in soil, is you can, what I'll basically do, I'll prepare a plastic sheeting which I'll put on the ground. Bloody wind! I'll just pour the earth straight onto there. From here, just tip it over, and then it's so much easier to go through then, because then you can just lift the soil up, chuck it back into there, and that's that. You've got to be careful with potato soil, because you can't use it like every year the same soil. So that soil that I've got in there now won't actually go back for growing potatoes. It'll be for something else next year, so carrots or sweet corn, something different. You've got to give it some chance to mature again to be able to have potatoes in it. Otherwise, you can grow poisonous potatoes. You don't want to die from your own potatoes, now do you? So obviously, now that I've tipped this out like that, all the soil that falls through, you've got to really go through it to find any little potato seedling in the soil. So you really got to break everything up, have a good search. You can't be too like, oh, there's nothing there, you've got to really go deep into the soil to check you don't find any potato seedlings, because if you do, you've got to take them out. Let's see, there's plenty of dirt in there, so just bring the dirt down. The potatoes should be quite visible when you get them down. So there's one. And the deeper the soil, obviously, the bigger the potatoes will be. That's the general way it works. So down the bottom here will be where all the massive spuds are. So you can see, look, there's another one. So the deeper they get to go down into the soil, pretty much the bigger the potatoes get normally. Don't hold me to it, obviously, not always the case, but fourthly, we're going to go and harvest the sunflower seeds. Right, so we're over at the sunflower. Obviously, all you do is chop the head off, like that, off for all of them. That one's probably like dead. Sunflower seeds falling everywhere. Just collect them. And just to show you guys quickly, last time did coriander, and this is the coriander seeds here. And basically, look how many coriander seeds you get from, what was it, 3-4 plants? That's ridiculous. And obviously that, each one of those seeds is a whole coriander plant. So you imagine when you go to the supermarket and they're selling you coriander, and each seed like that is a coriander, they're making a killing on that stuff. You know, that's like hot gold, man. It's ridiculous. So yeah, basically back to the topic. So with this seed, sunflower seeds, all you do is you take all these petal bits off, and all these little black bits underneath are all sunflower seeds, and you can just literally just peel them off like that. See that? And that's basically all that you do to get the sunflower seeds out. And you just do that through the both of them, and you'll see they'll just start coming out now. Loads of them just start coming out like that, and that's sunflower seeds. And you can either save those, you can also cook them. So if you want to eat sunflower seeds, you need to clean them, wash them, put them on a tray, bit of salt and pepper on top, put them in the oven, and you can eat the sunflowers. They're really nice to eat, but these are quite tiny, so these aren't worth it. But some of the heads that become really big, you can get some serious, huge sunflowers to eat from them. Sunflower seeds, sorry, to eat from them. So yeah, I'm just gonna empty this out now and show you guys how many we got after. It's a bit easy to show you on the actual sunflowers that are greener. So when they've kind of died off, and when they've died off and they've gone brown, it's quite hard to see the difference. But I'll just show you this now when I take these out. You see, like they come off quite easy. Just got to get your thumb in there and just get these out of there. And look, that's basically the seeds. And you know, if you've got children and you like to grow sunflowers, and you're like, oh, got to go buy some more sunflower seeds, well, you don't have to. You could just harvest these, keep them in a dry, cool place, and use them again next year. Some of the sunflower seeds won't be good. You can actually often tell that quite straight away. So, like for example, like this seed here is not going to be any good. It's not going to produce any sunflower compared to like this seed here, which is obviously nice and fat. So that's obviously got a nice seed in there, and that one would be quite good to eat as well. So yeah, you just got to collect all your sunflower seeds now, and all these sort of like bits of rubbish, you can discard these things. You're not needed, you know, for you to store. So yeah, you can just discard those. But so we're just gonna collect. So that's how much sunflower seeds we got from, I would say, 1.5 sunflowers. So you can imagine if you had like 3, 4 big ones like this, you'd have a lot of sunflowers seeds. So yeah, that's not a bad harvest for that much, and I've got a bucket load of this crap already anyway. So yeah, we'll check in with you when we move on to the next bit. Right, so this is the final harvest of what we've got. Potatoes were a little bit disappointing. We did not get as many as I was expecting, but I guess it's free, so technically, you know, like, we got some extra potatoes from one plant, I think it was, that actually took in the end, because the other lot didn't produce. I don't know why, but I think it may be the container that I've used this year, which I think I will maybe use a different container when I plant the winter crop for the season, because obviously in England we can do two seasons. We can have the autumn crop and the summer crop. The summer crop generally does look like this, which is a smaller sized potato, and then you've got the winter crop, which is a little bit bigger. That doesn't get harvested till like February, I think. Goes in October, comes out in about February time. So yeah, potatoes, not that over the top about it, but hey, we're gonna eat them anyway. And obviously with the pears, you can kind of see how many pears we've got. The dining table is taken up completely with pears. So yeah, that's how much pears we've got, and just a little bit of tomato, not much, just a few little ones here and there. This one, and this one, I'm a bit unsure about. I'm probably going to fermentate them in a different container to the other ones, because they may pass that on to the others and make them rot as well, which is not nice. So I'm just going to, so basically what you do with green tomatoes, if you want to make them red, you do not put them on the windowsill. That is just stupid. I know some people say to do it and then make it become red. It doesn't. What you want to do, if you want this to become red, you take this tomato off this vine, you place it in a cardboard box, something like that, and then inside the cardboard, you wrap each of these in newspaper individually. You wrap them in newspaper, you put them in a box like that, and then you put an apple in there. And basically the apple fermentates these to turn red. I don't know, it gives off a really high fermentation rate, apples. And they turn tomatoes red, basically. and you put that box in a dark and cool place. I know, how ironic is that? Dark and cool place, and those tomatoes that are green right now will turn red, and I'm going to show you them when I've done it, and it's actually turned red. But that's basically what you do. It takes roughly about 2 weeks for it to turn red, but they all will go red. Whether they're big, whether they're small, they'll all go red. So I hope you've enjoyed this summer season of Grow Your Food, and obviously now we're going over into the autumn and winter time in the UK. There isn't really going to be much for us to do for this season. I will still release Grow Your Food videos on a monthly basis, like I said before, and cover just a few things that you need to do during the winter time. It's not going to be like amazing, trust me. Because there's not much to do in the winter time. There's nothing will really grow. There's only a few crops that can actually take any form in the winter time, and they're very far and few in between. So yeah, there won't be much for us to go over. Basic garden maintenance, and just we'll be looking at things like pruning trees, looking after trees, looking after the soil, and preparing your soil for next year. So yeah, so I hope you guys have enjoyed this summer season on Grow Your Food, and yeah, it's been pretty good this year. It's not been too bad. We've had obviously strawberries, we've had blackberries, we've had lots of herbs. We've still got lots of herbs in the garden as it is now. Also, we've had lots of lettuce and greens from the garden, and it's been really good. I mean, it's not been amazing. We've had onions, obviously. I put onions, showed you the harvest of the onion in the last episode. So thank you guys for watching, and don't forget guys, if you haven't done so already, hit a thumbs up if you like the video, and make sure to smash that subscribe button so you can get up-to-date notifications on when we release the next chapter of Grow Your Food. So I'd like to say a massive thanks to all of you guys for joining me on this small series. Whether we'll do another series like this next year, I don't know. It will probably be to show you more exotic plants that you can grow, like exotic food plants that you can grow in your garden that need a little bit more care and attention, but it won't be on a monthly basis. It'll be here and there kind of shows that I'll be doing maybe. So yeah, I want to say thanks to everyone for joining us on this small series, and peace.